Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Dumpster Diaries. I am Moses Wartooth and I am here with
Justin Allen.
And as always, we got news, we got stories, we got a little bit of everything. So Justin, start us off. What are we watching today?
Okay, man. So, we're trying to start off everything with a little more, I don't want to say lighthearted, because the situation's not lighthearted.
A little more... can't even really call
entertaining?
it I guess entertaining
is right. Yeah.
I mean, no one died.
That is true. That is true.
It's qualified as entertainment.
Doesn't have a bad ending.
Yeah, no one got hurt.
Yeah.
People made money.
But I can tell you right now, I'm a little skeptical on flying after reading this story.
Yeah.
Yeah, so recently an Alaskan Airlines flight, man, they were, I believe they were, if I remember right, they were taking off from Vancouver and going to Portland, or it might have been vice versa. But in the middle of the flight, a panel, like literally an entire side, like those little like squarish rectangular slides or whatever.
Emergency exit door thing?
Yeah, it just rips right off in the middle of the flight. And like they're already at like a pretty high altitude and everything, right? Like this is not like just took off, it fell off. And
they've been going smooth. People are probably they got their headphones in, kind of all relaxed.
Yeah, they're I think they were at cruising altitude already. Like, and so the pilot calls it in, like, freaking out, probably. I mean,
yeah.
I think the pilot was actually like, really calm, but I mean, I'm sure like that's happening.
I mean, they're supposed to, but on the inside, they were like,
fuck,
Jesus.
Fuck.
Call my wife.
And so, I don't know. I was going to make a 9/11 reference there. I don't know if that's appropriate. But anyways, all I'm going to say is they got fucking recordings of like the members on the flights calling their families. Cell phones don't work at fucking 35,000 feet. But anyway, so, like whatever. So, but anyway, so this plane, like literally, I think it might have been like the emergency exit door, but it was like the entire panel just rips off. Like once they hit cruising altitude, man.
It just goes.
Yeah. And the pilot calls it in. It's like, hey, like an emergency, like whatever. Drops to 12,000 feet, if I remember right. And then it takes them 35 minutes to land. All right, so when you look at like the images and watch all this stuff, man, I mean, it is literally, there's a chair right there by like this huge open door, right?
Yeah, because like whenever you're sitting by that door, they ask you, they're like, because you're in charge of operating the door if shit hits the fan.
Yeah, it's like Gandalf giving the ring to Frodo to go destroy Mordor. Like, do you accept this responsibility?
Yeah.
Like you might have to help people off this plane if something goes wrong. But yeah, dude, and you got to think too, like that's like the Northwest, man, like high up Northwest, and it's January, so it is just cold
as shit
as hell up there, dude. And so these people just like hold on for like 35 minutes, man. And I can't remember if it was like one kid, like one woman got like severe like windburn, understandably, man.
I mean, they wouldn't. Well, I guess at that point they were probably like, "Do not move at all. You were locked into your seat," type shit.
Yeah,
they didn't want to move around, so
yeah, I think that's enough pressure, man. Like, I don't know, man. Like, you probably even, like, undo your seat, but, like, you're gone. Like, you're sucked out or whatever.
Yeah.
But do you want to play the video that we have about it, man? No.
Yeah, let's play the video.
About it.
There's just so we can see the damage, if nothing else.
Yeah.
After a sudden gaping hole ripped through the side of an Alaska Airlines flight. And at least airlines are already reporting that they found loose parts and bolts in the same door panels. And as more details emerge, it's worth asking two questions. How bad could this have really been? And where the heck is Pete Buttigieg? Joining me now, retired Air Force and United Airlines pilot Scott Patillo and Horace Cooper, chair of Project 21. Scott, take that first question. People are saying, all's well that ends well. Well, that's true, but how bad could this have been?
Laura, it could have been much worse than it was. We got very, very lucky with this particular incident that the door came off at 16,000 feet.
We got lucky the door came off at 16,000.
It would have been an explosive decompression. Yeah. Flight attendants would have been out of their seats. Passengers would have been unbuckled. And it would have ended very, very badly for anybody that was up and about in that airplane. And
does that mean people would have been sucked out of the plane because of the depressurization if you hadn't been buckled in?
Highly possible. Up in 38,000 feet.
That's a hell of a way
with the pressure differential. If you were anywhere near that, anywhere near one of those seats and you weren't buckled in, there's a high probability you could have been extracted from the aircraft. That is correct.
That's a
Horace, we hear this story, and they're still looking for some of the bolts, we understand, that they can't find.
They probably flew out the fucking plane. What are you like?
Doors have fallen off
Where are they
the
going to find
planes,
those?
But at least, they're meeting their diversity goals, I guess, in Boeing, because they say
yeah,
our goal was
we
to
gotta talk
achieve
about that.
diverse interview slates for at least 90% of managers and executives in their openings, and they bragged that they exceeded that target with 92% of interview slates being diverse, resulting in 47% diverse hires at the management and executive levels. Now, Horace, we can't link the diversity efforts to what happened, and that would take an exhaustive investigation.
That's a bold
But it's
statement,
worth
lady.
asking at this
She says they
point,
can't link them.
is excellence what we need in an airline operation?
Yeah, probably so.
Okay. So, all right. So we'll talk about like this panel getting ripped off a little bit more, and then we'll go on to like the Pete Buttigieg and the FAA stuff. Yeah, because that's definitely something that we do need to talk about. But God, so I guess they only made, if I heard it right, they only made it 16,000 feet.
Yeah.
Yeah, and from I don't know that guy's credentials, 100%, but from the way he made it sound was like if you're at cruising altitude of like 35 or whatever, you're fucked, man. Like if a door comes off, like that's gonna be like that's an in game right there, But damn, dude, could you imagine being sucked out of a plane like that? That's gotta suck ass, dude. I know, like on our what was it? The last episode, or the one before last, we did. Oh no, it was our Cannibal Christmas special.
Oh, about the plane crash?
Yeah, the plane crash in the Andes and stuff like that.
The whole tail.
Yeah, and
off.
8 people get sucked out instantly. Jesus Christ, dude, that's gotta be so terrifying. Because you're like, unless you get hit in the head or something, like you're pretty much conscious for the entire thing, man. And it's like, yeah, dude.
But
like,
you're gonna freeze. It's gonna be immediately cold as hell.
Yeah, dude.
And then you're gonna be falling.
to your death,
Yeah.
dude. Like, oh my God.
Imagine
man.
if you somehow survived but just fell into the ocean. You'd still die eventually, but
I wonder if anybody's like survived just falling out of a plane.
I've heard supposedly there is like a very few supposedly that's not a totally impossible feat to fall out of an airplane and survive.
Like a skydiver who, like, their parachute didn't open.
That has happened, yeah.
Really? Like, how the fuck? Dude, because if I
don't
fall
know.
5 feet, I'm, like, literally rolling on the ground, like, oh, fuck, what is going on?
I don't know, man. I think that's just like one of those wasn't your time to go type things. Like,
yeah,
I don't
like
know.
some, like, higher power, like, intervened or whatever, it was like, nope, not today, brother, you know?
Letting Jesus take the wheel.
Jesus Christ. Speaking of that, would you ever jump out of a plane?
Yeah.
Brother.
I want to. I paid the money to go skydiving. Went
What?
to the
Really?
yeah, dude.
You never told me this story?
Because it didn't fucking happen. I
wow.
paid the money, went to the airport. It was too windy, so they had to cancel the fucking thing.
Did you get refunded, though?
Yeah, I got refunded.
That's good.
But,
Damn, but
I was pissed because I was like,
you were really going to go through with it.
yeah, I mean, once I paid the money.
And you're not.
I joke, you know how I'm about money. Like,
yeah, like, just, like, super, like, I don't want to call you cheap, but...
frugal is the nicer
Frugal
term.
is a nicer term. Yeah,
Cheap
absolutely.
ass.
Cheap ass.
Yeah.
Cheap ass motherfucker.
That is me for sure.
But yeah, man. Like, I don't know if I could do the skydiving shit, man. To be honest with you, like, I mean, were you like nervous? Were you like, are we just like totally cool about it?
No, I mean, I'm afraid of heights, so.
So you just like basically pushing your like psyche to the limit.
Yeah,
right?
well, like I don't like climbing mountains and shit. I can do all that stuff. Flying in planes doesn't bother me at all. Roller coasters I don't care about. But like being on whenever I feel like there's an immediate danger of me actually falling.
Yeah,
that's
like you're
what,
not in control.
Like I don't like fucking ladders, but I'll go ride a roller coaster or fly on an airplane.
Really?
It's like
That's weird.
Yeah, like because a ladder, dude, that shit's uncertain. I've been.
When I told you earlier, I fell like 5 feet. I was on like a small ladder, and like, that's how I felt. I was like, God damn! And I was like rolling on the ground.
Yeah, man.
Like,
I've been in a cherry picker before. That shit was terrifying. I was like holding on to both fucking.
Really?
Yeah, dude.
What's funny is because none of that shit bothers me. But like
Really?
the jumping out of the plane, roller coasters, fuck that, not doing that.
So we're like the total opposite.
yeah, we're literally like total opposites on that shit, dude. Like if you and I were sitting in a plane, like ready to jump out, like I would be having a panic attack, dude. Like, I would be freaking the fuck out, dude. Like, I'm definitely taking a Xanax before I go up there, dude. Like, where I just get fucking loaded on, like, booze and Xanax and just, like, get up there where I
just push you out of the plane like you don't even know.
My fat ass strapped to, like, 110-pound dude. Come on, boy, let's do this.
He's like, he's dead weight, oh shit.
Oh, fuck. He literally fell asleep. As they were falling, he fell asleep.
You wake up like, how'd I get down here?
You know? And it's like, I mean, I know, like, you know, this Alaskan Airlines incident, because it's not a crash by any means, incident, like, I bet it's fucking terrifying, dude.
Oh, for sure.
Like, if that shit happened on a flight that I was on, I don't know. I don't think that it would actually bother. I mean, I would be like, what the fuck? Yeah, for sure. But, like, I mean, I've been in the back of C-130s when they've opened the tail, like, in flight. And
yeah,
shit.
but that was planned.
Yeah. yeah, there's that key fact. But it's just, like, the psychological, like, you know, aspect of, like, you're sitting here, you're looking out and, like, holy fuck, there's that ground. It's way below you. Like, that doesn't really bother me all that much. Now, if I'm getting sucked out or if I'm jumping out, that's a different fucking
if I'm
story.
Sitting in that emergency exit seat and that whole fucking panel comes off, I'm freaking out.
Yeah, dude. This motherfucker's coming around. I never really even thought about it, but the flight attendants are always, like, they ask you, like, you know, basically, like, do you accept this responsibility?
Yeah.
Like, it's some, like, epic quest you're gonna go on or whatever, and then everyone just, like, nonchalantly brushes it off.
You have to be over 13 to sit in that seat.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's on the window or whatever I've seen.
Oh,
but
okay.
I've sat in that seat before, and I always tell them, yeah, because I'll be like, oh, I'm not responsible enough.
Yeah.
But realistically,
do?
I'm saving myself first off. I'm immediately jumping off the plane, and anyone else, fuck you. Like,
I'm the most important thing on this plane.
Self-preservation. That's why they tell you to put your own mask on first, man.
Yeah.
Like, you got to get out of there.
Do you think that shit from Fight Club is true, where it's like O2 gets you kind of high, and that's why they just want you to do it? I mean, obviously you need oxygen and stuff, but apparently, like it
calm you down.
Yeah, you think
I'm
it's
sure that plays some sort of role
Yeah.
in that whole scenario.
I'd be like, bro, load that shit with fucking nitrous. Let's do this shit. I mean, and they're like, listen to some techno and shit. I'll drive this thing into the ground myself. Like, you know, I'll go out with a fucking bang. Wow.
Just kick your seat back all the way and be jamming out.
Like, all of a sudden, I don't really give a fuck about any of this shit because I don't even know what fucking reality is.
We're still flying.
That would be kind of nice. You know what I mean? Like, if it was, like, inevitable, they just pump it with, like, nitrous or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
There's probably some ethical, legal.
I mean, like, probably not everyone wants the nitrous, so just get, like, hurry, run to the bathroom. Start huffing it back there.
Oh, dude, speaking of planes, man, this is like a complete sidebar, completely off track of everything we're talking about, or plan on talking about at least. So we've been writing so much stupid shit, like, well, crazy shit, like, for our shorts and stuff, that I'm literally starting to have dreams about stuff. Okay, like, I'm literally like, oh, like, it's like stuff that we don't even discuss. Like, my brain is just starting to, like, think of crap, right? And one of them, I started thinking, I was like, man, like, what are things that are legal that should be illegal, right? And I had like this, like, this dream, but it was so vivid, man, that, like, you and I were getting on a plane, and then I always have, like, a rolling suitcase for, like, a carry-on or whatever, because I don't use backpacks or whatever, and I just had, like, this, you know, this dream of this guy, this TSA agent, like, you know, he's searching my stuff or whatever, like, oh, just random, normal, like, hey, I just gotta look through your stuff or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, cool.
You got randomly picked.
And he unzips it and he opens it, and it's just a piece of paper, and on it has written, "Don't be a hero." And then he looks up, and I'm giving him, like, 1,000-yard stare.
Just, like, staring through him.
But there's, like, nothing in the suitcase. But, like, what would happen to you? And two, like, how terrifying does it have to be for that guy? You know what I mean? It's not illegal, I guess. It's not a threat.
No.
It just says, you know, don't be a hero.
I would be like, oh, my wife left me an encouraging note to open up when I got to my destination.
What do you know?
Like, wow, how nice.
Or you see those videos, like, too, like, where, like, TSA agents find, like, embarrassing things. Like, they'll find, like, a dildo or something like that. They'll be like, whoa, what the fuck? You know? Like... But anyway, so to bring it all back to, like, airlines and stuff like that, the FAA. Oh, my God. So this falls under Pete Buttigieg, which is the Secretary of the Department of Transportation, former, I believe, presidential candidate, right?
I think so, yeah.
So they have made some interesting statements in their recruiting, actually.
Yeah, this is what the
to get employees.
woman was talking about as far as, like, in the video before it ended, she was mentioning like the new lax regulations on the hiring process of what kind of people they're hiring.
I don't even know if they're relaxed. They're almost more extensive. Like they're specifically targeting like very
like for diversity
niche crowd of freaking people. You know what I mean? But yeah, I guess they're trying to be more diverse or whatever.
Which again, diversity is fine, but whenever it comes to life and death of other people, I kind of think there needs to be a line drawn somewhere on that.
I mean, there's just like some things like I'm just a firm believer like let the best person get the job, man.
Exactly.
The most qualified, like 100%. Now, I mean, you do have to make like guidelines, exceptions, like for people like you can't be like, oh, just because you're in a wheelchair, like I cannot allow you to do a job that you could obviously
you can do
feel. Yeah, you know what I mean? But it's like you need to have the credentials, you need to have like the work experience, the work ethic, like all this other stuff to fill that role. Like it should not just be based on.
But to hire someone solely for their diversity.
Yeah. It's crazy. And it was like, these airlines, like they were coming out because the airlines, a private company, started talking about this like what, a year or two ago?
Yeah.
Like way before. Now the FAA is like taking a stance.
Yeah, because
like,
the airlines
federal
were doing
government
it with their pilots and shit, right?
Yeah. And they were like, hey, we're gonna hire like X number of pilots based on ethnic their ethnicity, right?
They basically lowered the qualifications to allow other people who happen to be not white.
Dude, it's like, bro, if I want to go to fucking Boca Raton, dude, I
want a responsible pilot. I don't care what color they are.
I want a dude that was bombing Saddam, in the early 2000s.
He's got thousands of hours logged on the plane.
easily handle like a 737. You know what I mean? Like flying like F-16s, like fucking barrel rolls and shit. Yeah. I'll the guy that just does a simple like up and down. Like I'll take that guy all day, man. Like with that freaking hardcore experience, man. And I don't know. I just don't. That's a
major safety issue.
Yeah, and it's just like it's horseshit, and it's a liability. Is really what it is. Like it's a liability. Yeah,
and you can't tell me that those people, like the people that decided that was going to be the new norm, are they gonna fly on the plane that they hired? Those people got
private jets. They got
private jets.
Yeah, and they probably vet those fucking pilots and meet them.
100%. Those are the guys who flew in Desert Storm and shit. Those are the guys who were the private jet pilots.
Those are the dudes that help topple governments, like in the Middle East.
They're like, you can safely fly me to Miami.
But you two stupid honkies get on that fucking flight, like with Alaskan Airlines, and watch this shit get ripped off.
First flight, whatever. I'm sure he can manage.
God damn, dude. I don't know, man. I don't agree with that. Like, I don't know, man. Like I'm not for like discrimination by any means whatsoever.
No, but you need to be qualified for the job.
You be qualified for the job. We haven't even read the statement, and we're already like fucking ranting about it.
No.
You want me to go ahead and just read this statement, man? Like so they at least know what we're talking about. So this is from the FAA. This is what they're doing, right? This one. Okay. So it just says, targeted disabilities are those disabilities that the federal government, as a matter of policy, has identified for special emphasis in recruiting and hiring. The FAA's website states they include hearing, vision, missing extremities, partial paralysis, complete paralysis, epilepsy, severe intellectual disability, and psychiatric disability, and to include also dwarfism. So there's one thing that got me, complete paralysis.
Yeah, like, how are they supposed to check my bags? How are they gonna, like, okay, so what if
well, that's TSA.
Okay.
Right, so like, we're talking FAA, air traffic controllers, like, everything, like, falls, like, underneath the pilots, air crews, I see you trying to contain yourself. How do I go check my bags? Yeah. Like, that's a...
How is the air...
just edit that out.
So a complete...
We don't edit shit here, all right?
No, we don't. Let's go in. A completely paralyzed man is like... Honestly, what can they do?
You shouldn't be laughing.
I know, but what can they do?
I mean...
Like, okay, if you're missing a hand or you're missing a leg, you can do shit. That's fine.
Look at Stephen Hawking, man. He made it down to Epstein's Island all the fucking time, apparently, dude.
True, he was
They're very capable and qualified people, man.
When they want to be. It's all a scam. They're tricking people. But
there's obviously issues with this, right?
Severe intellectual disability.
Like, what does that mean?
I don't know
like,
what that
dude,
means.
I'm laughing because it's so bonkers, man.
And again,
because the scenarios are playing in my head.
Yeah,
dude.
It just seems very unsafe. Not because, like, I have no problem with these people working. It's just I want to make sure that they don't harm other people in their inability
like a
to
liability,
do their
just
job.
put like just put in a situation. It's just like, should you have someone who has vision impairments like working as an air traffic controller, telling when planes to land, like and where and all that shit? I don't think that's a good idea. You know what I mean? And then also, like, what if we parlay this shit? What if you have a combination of disabilities? Like, what if you suffer from complete paralysis and you have vision issues, like you can't see. So what the fuck are you
And
gonna
you're
do?
deaf.
Yeah, and you're deaf. Like, so just really throw you a curveball, because you sure as fuck have to hire that guy after this statement. You know what I mean?
Okay,
Or else he's gonna sue your ass.
Someone with dwarfism, they could be they could be an air traffic controller. Like, there's no issue with that. They could sit on some phone books and be good to go.
God damn, bro.
Psychiatric disabilities, like what if they're that is a very broad spectrum.
Yeah, what do
man.
you got? Schizophrenia?
Like, who knows? What if they just see shit? They could be like, don't land here, or like, you're gonna crash.
I mean, I've known people that have had schizophrenia that take antipsychotics and they function in society totally fine, no issues about it. But it's like,
But
do you want that person controlling thousands of souls that are flying in the air in some capacity?
and it is a lot of times those people, which we're all guilty of doing sometimes stuff, but like, okay, for instance, somebody may wake up one day and be like, I'm not taking my fucking medication today.
Oh,
like, there's a lot of people that do that shit.
I got a cousin, man. He's like severely bipolar and stuff. Totally cool, you know the guy. Totally cool, well-grounded. Everything's fine, dude. Skips his medication.
Yeah, loses.
Completely different person, man. Like,
And a lot of times they'll
goes
like,
off the rafters.
they'll be like, I'm not taking this shit anymore. It's bad for me.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
they'll just get on a thing, and
they start
don't
to become
know.
delusional and believe things and stuff, and then they'll make things up in their head, and it becomes like the truth for them. Yeah, dude. Oh god. Yeah, he's doing good though. He's doing good.
Taking his medicine.
Yeah, I heard he's about to apply for the FAA.
I mean, he's probably gonna get it according to this. But the thing is, the problem is if the person gets hired solely on their merits of having a negative connotation to themselves versus their actual ability to perform a job or their skill set or their experience.
But also, like, I think fundamentally at its core, for me at least, I think that, like, if you are awarded something or receive something on the basis of something that you basically had no control over, right? Like the way you were born in some shape, form, or fashion, I think it's horseshit. Like, I think, like, to give someone a job, like, all right, let's just, because it seems like we're attacking like the differently abled, which is totally not the case, man. Like, but
No, it's only only when they're given positions that could harm other people.
yeah, so let's like really throw a curveball, bring in the racial aspect, right? And so let's say like, like this seems like it's going like a really bad direction, but it's all good. We're going full circle. It's gonna make sense. So let's say that, like, someone got a job because they were white, right? That's obviously clearly fucked up to some degree, right?
Happens all the
Obviously,
time.
yeah, you know what I mean? Like, I would say to some degree, like entirely it is fucked up, man.
Yeah.
And so I just think that, like, when you see things, they're like, wow, like, we did this for this person, like, we have diversity and like inclusion, like some of our like employees are like transgender, like they're like whatever, like insert whatever fucking dynamic. It's just horseshit. I want to know, where did they get their education, man? Like, where did they get their qualifications? Like, what were their grades?
Yeah, I mean, if they do stack up evenly or better to a straight white dude, then yeah, give him the fucking job.
Sure.
Like, who cares?
If that's really what you care about and that's really what you're behind, then fuck it. Like, have fun, go to town, man. But
I mean, I'm sure there's
that's
plenty
never
of...
the case, dude.
I mean, it's probably the case sometimes. I mean, I'm pretty sure there's a epileptic dwarf that is smarter than me on certain jobs, and he's more qualified than I am. So,
like, I had to like blink and like think about that for 2 seconds. Like, those are like a few words in the English language that I've never heard strung together in one sentence. So, but I don't know. It just has me concerned. I guess is what we're coming. I think it has us both concerned, but I mean, whatever. It's just a typical like liberal government pandering. That's all it is.
It is.
You know what'd be funny is like they actually don't even hire anyone like based on these demographics that they were talking about, and they're just like, oh no, we just said it because we're doing the right thing.
They just put it on their website and don't ever do anything about it.
Yeah, like, oh, we made a flag, whatever, it's good. We passed out
Like
pins.
Pride Month, when every company switches their shit to rainbow, and then they just act like it never happened.
There's a couple of companies that refuse to do it.
Yeah.
Oh,
I still shop there.
I think Audi, like the car company, is one of them.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because like all the car companies do it, but Audi is like the one company, I think it's Audi, that's never done it. And they're just like, fuck no, we're not doing that. It's stupid. Like, all right, cool. But anyway, this, for me at least, the most interesting part is the FAA well, not the FA, sorry, the Secretary of the Department of Transportation, Pete Buttigieg. I just don't like this guy, man. Like, something about him, like when he was running for like president and everything like that, like I did not get I'm a qualified vibe off of him. And he bowed out like early on too, and which is like, God damn it, this is how they always do it, man. So it's literally, it was a payoff. It was like, hey, like if you bow out of this race, I'll make you, Secretary of the Department of Transportation. And of course he took the gig.
I mean, why wouldn't you?
Yeah, because
I would take it.
Prior to that, you're basically like nameless, faceless, like you don't really have shit.
I feel it's a good scam, like because first off, you get all that fame and notoriety for running, and then you know you're not going to do it anyway, so then you just take a payout, and then you still win in the end. Like it's a win-win situation.
Yeah, dude.
There's no, I mean, because what do you have? You don't have anything to lose either, so who cares?
Yeah, and so he gets kind of shit on. I think it's, rightfully due or whatever, man, because he just didn't seem like a very competent fucking dude to me, man. But one thing I did kind of appreciate or whatever, like, I thought it was funny. And just to go ahead and give some background, like, I'm not homophobic by any means, like one of my good cousins is like married to a dude, like 100%, like totally cool with it. But watching Pete Buttigieg make out with his husband, well, kiss, make out essentially is what I saw. His husband on the debate stage was fucking hilarious because America was not prepared for that. And what was funny is, like, I think I was like actually getting some drinks from the kitchen and coming back into the living room, and like my friends were there, and then I saw it and I was like, whoa, shit, that guy's gay. I didn't even know up until like that moment. It just threw me off. I was like, what the fuck? Like, so, but I don't know, fucking gays always be wilding out, man. Speaking of that, there's actually a funny story that I have from our local town. I don't think I've told you about yet. There is a local watering hole that we have, and I like to call it it is the divest of dive bars, okay? And you know exactly what I'm talking about. I like to call it the last stop on the road to hell, and that's essentially what it is. Ladies and gentlemen, let's put it this way, nobody with any real ambitions go there. But in this establishment, not that it matters that they're lesbians, but there is a group of lesbians that essentially, have the same table every night of the week.
They claim their spot.
Every night, like literally like 7 days a week. It's just like, all right, cool. And just, I'm doing this to paint a picture for you guys. I'm not doing this to be mean by any means or whatever, but they're more of like the, I don't know, more like the dominant, like, I don't want to say die.
They look like
type.
Dudes.
Yeah, there you go. And so the ringleader, to paint a picture of what's happening here, the ringleader is like 6'3" or some shit.
So bigger than us.
Yeah, she shoulder checked me one time, and I about flew into the side of the wall. I felt that shit or whatever. But so anyway, and they're fine. They're their own group people. I don't know them, so no problem whatsoever. And I sit with my people or whatever. Like, we're on the complete other side of the building, but like, we're sitting there or whatever. Because straight dudes, lesbians don't really get along. But what's interesting is, like, whenever like a girl comes in for whatever reason, whenever she may be down on her luck or whatever,
stumbles in
or like whatever horrible events led to that moment of her arriving at that fucking last stop to hell. I almost want to say the name of the place, but I won't. Whatever. It's too much of a small town. So like, the lesbians actually become, I call them predators, like vultures, and it's literally what it is, and it becomes like this competition thing. So you'll see, like, where I sit, where it's just like normal, like, straight dudes that you could just imagine, straight dudes in a dive bar or whatever, and they're like, oh, like typical, like, hey, let's go talk to this girl, or like, let's see how she looks or whatever, and then, but they're doing the same thing too at their table, so it becomes this natural, like, competitiveness that occurs or whatever, and there's like riffs or whatever, so I guess, like, they kind of just hate on us or whatever. But anyway, this is all gonna make sense at some point, folks. Like, just bear with me. So the ringleader was six. So I guess what I was trying to say is, like, there's a lot of attitude from that table, like crazy attitude. But the ringleader, man, like the really, really tall girl, and it's not just. I mean, she's built like a linebacker, dude. Like, I mean, it's a real thing. Like,
She's ready to fight.
yeah. And so she one day, and I don't know what started this. I don't know how this happened. There was another girl with her friend in there, whatever. There was altercation. So the ringleader gets into an altercation with this other girl, right? And basically same demographic, as you can imagine. And they're going at it, right? And it's about to get like real physical. And at this point, like the entire establishment has like formed like a gladiator circle. Like it is the Coliseum, right? And my buddy, my good friend of mine, he actually listens to the show, so he's probably gonna be laughing about this. People start like chanting and cheering, like, "Ooh, yeah!" Like, you know, cat fight, whatever, right?
Fight.
Yeah. I mean, it's literally like high school all over again, right? Because I don't know, it's just what you do, I guess.
Yeah,
but
violence.
the freaking tables kind of start to move out of the way and stuff like that. Chairs move out of the way or whatever, and people are like chanting stuff. And then my buddy from behind me, all I hear is, "Grab her dick." And I was like, what the fuck? And then he says, "Twist it." It's like, and then he starts chanting, "Grab her dick, twist it." And then other people start going in. So there's like this whole corner of like straight, it's not all of us, but it's some of us are like, people I don't even know. They're just like, "Grab her dick, twist it," or whatever. And it's just like, oh my God, dude. So I don't know. But I just want to tell you that story at least. This is entertaining. I call that the ringleader we were discussing, I call her Bowser. Like Super Mario Brothers, because sometimes to get to the princess you have to defeat the final boss. And
That's it.
That's kind of where it's at. Because like what'll happen is like when like say a single girl, straight girl, or whatever, you know, comes in, they, like I said, vultures, you know, and they're kind of like snatch them. "Oh, sit at our table," or whatever. So
Whether or not they're even lesbians or not, like.
And so like so my friends will be like, "Oh, like, you know, I want to talk to that girl, but like obviously like she's been
abducted,
sucked into a Venus flytrap, essentially, right?" And so and I was like, "Well, you should go defeat Bowser." And people are like, "What?" And then I was like, "Yeah, you got to beat Bowser to get to fucking Princess Peach, dude." You'd be all right, dude. I don't know, man. I just wanted to tell you what I've been up to. It's been a minute since I've seen you, so I was like, you know, I figure why not just rant about my fucking debauchery.
lesbian bar brawls.
That's really what it was. They didn't even fight. You know, you notice that that's like a thing now. Like people will start shit, but like no one really ends anything anymore.
Yeah.
You know, which I guess legally.
I mean, the only people that end shit are people with guns. Like,
yeah.
people don't really fight anymore. They just, like, if you're losing, they're just gonna go to the truck and pull out a gun and shoot
it's the
you.
ultimate equalizer.
Yeah.
I don't know, but you know, we've talked about it before. Sometimes violence can actually, you know, solve some things or whatever.
I mean, it has to solve some shit. Some things are, like, you can't control things. Sometimes you have to show a little force to get your point across.
Force, yeah. I guess force is a better word, right? Not violence.
Yeah. Sounds better on paper.
I mean, it's kind of what's going on in the world now. You look at all that shit. I mean, we've been watching the news. We actually saved this part for the last because we usually open with shit like this, and it just sounds depressing as hell. So.
Yeah, we're trying to get a little bit more positivity into this shit.
You know, we could focus on like lesbians fighting each other instead of World War III, ladies and gentlemen.
Getting shit blown out.
Yeah. But yeah, so I guess we're like pushing the verge of World War III, right?
Yeah.
And like, so what has me going with that, man, is like, well, I guess, all right, to back up, America, we don't have the strongest politics right now by any means, right?
Our government is weak.
Yeah, and so like we were talking about like Pete Buttigieg like earlier, like, you know, he ran for president or whatever, and yeah, he obviously like folded out, he got a deal or whatever, and so now 2020 was crazy as hell, so now we got 2024 coming up, like the election for that, and the primaries start, I guess, for Texas at least is like March, right? Something like that.
Yeah. And so right now we got Iowa's first up.
Yeah, and so I don't know, but so I've been like watching the debates, keeping up with it, and like, dude, every single freaking election is like this. The closer you get to the presidency, man, the shittier the candidates become, dude. And right now, like this last debate that I watched was between Ron DeSantis and Nikki Haley, and it was the biggest piece. I'm gonna call it like it is, folks. It was the biggest piece of shit I've ever seen in my life. Like I wanted to fucking gouge my eyes out. Like, I could barely sit through it. And you know me, man. Like, I like will watch this stuff religiously.
Yeah.
Like, I will sit through it, even if it's parties I don't even like. Like, I'll watch like stuff for the Democrats, like whatever it may be, man. But like, this was the hardest debate I'd ever sat through the entire time, dude. But so it was only for the Iowa caucus, right? So this isn't like, you know, the entire nation or anything like that. And one thing that I noticed is on the stage there was only Ron DeSantis and Nikki Haley. Two people I don't really care for, but whatever. Yeah. So I was kind of like, well, where's Vivek Ramaswamy at, right? Because he's still in the race. I was like, so why does he have a voice at this debate? And then we started looking into it, and apparently you had to have at least like 10% support, I guess, or whatever,
you
like
had
in the polls.
Double-digit supporter.
Yeah, and he only had 7, so he was off the stage or whatever. And then one thing I also noticed, I was like, oh, my absolute favorite person in the world, Chris Christie, was not there, which I hate Chris Christie. And I guess like a couple days before that, man, like he bowed out. Like he just was like, all right, cool, like I'm done. I'm not running anymore. But what was interesting, man, is he had a story about a hot mic, and they caught him talking some shit on a hot mic where he just obviously thought he wasn't being recorded or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, he actually made valid points. It was, I don't know, I wouldn't even consider it talking shit because he just said stuff that was obvious.
Where it cuts off is what gets me. Like, we have the recording. We're about to play it here now, but where it cuts off is what gets me, man.
All right, you want to play it?
Yeah, let's go ahead and play it.
Like that. Yeah, that's what you get. Yeah, I mean, look, she spent $68 million so far, just on TV. Spent $68 million so far, $59 million by DeSantis, and we spent 12. I mean, who's punching above their weight and who's getting a return on their investment, you know? And she's going to get smoked, and you and I both know it. She's not up to this.
She hasn't even been.
She's still 20 points behind Trump in New Hampshire, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And he's still going to carry Iowa, right?
Yes. Always. I talked to DeSantis called me, petrified that I would.
He's probably getting out after Iowa.
Well,
God, it cuts off right when it starts to like start getting good, man.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It. I mean, it was technically a hot mic. I mean, it's not like I'm not surprised by anything that he said. You know what I mean? He didn't say grab him by the pussy.
Did you? He said he thinks DeSantis is going to get out after Iowa.
Yes. That's what I heard and believed he was alluding to. DeSantis is he's gonna bow out at some point.
Yeah, but I don't think after Iowa. Iowa's the first damn one.
Maybe, I don't know. I mean, there's no way DeSantis is winning the presidency. I can tell you that. There's no way. It's not going to happen. Trump's going to get the nomination. I'm not necessarily saying that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I'm just saying that is what's going to happen. If you just look at the numbers, there's no way you can beat it. Yeah. I mean, it's such a realistic possibility that they're literally trying to take him off of ballots in states.
And the Democrats, they're not even doing anything. Yeah. Which in itself is like, if that doesn't set off red flags for you.
No.
Like, what the fuck?
And then, like, I don't know, man. But what got me, so, like, Chris Christie's, like, talking on this shit. Essentially, he was just talking about how much money they've spent. And they just keep pumping money into, like, advertisements and all this other stuff. And essentially, he was just like, hey, you're none of you are qualified. Well, he's really talking about Nikki Haley for the most part. But basically, you're not qualified to do this job. And I kind of have a bone to pick with Nikki Haley. Because remember how she got appointed by Trump? And she was all over like Trump's dick, like, oh my God, like he's amazing, like he's everything, like he's the best thing since sliced bread for America, right? And he appoints her as the ambassador to the United Nations, right? And she does it, I think, for like a year and a half or 2 years, and then she resigns, she quits. And then she's just like, fuck Trump, like whatever, I'm done with him, right?
But then she thinks she's responsible enough to handle the presidency?
Yeah. And so you're going to turn around a couple years later and you're going to run to be president of the United States. That's not I mean, you can quit if you really want. You can resign if you really want to, but like, are you fucking with me right now? You can't even be
if you couldn't handle that position, why could you handle this position?
Yeah, like if you can't even handle being the ambassador of the United Nations, right? Who the fuck do you think you are to think that you deserve to be in charge of the strongest military on the face of the planet? Like, you gotta be a fucking idiot to think that. And then, not to mention, like, she got done with the United Nations, right? And then she went on and became a board member of Boeing, dude. Yeah. And she's been, like, fucking warmongering, all this fucking shit, man, trying to get, just lying in their fucking pockets,
And
man.
I heard she was the one that actually loosened the screws on that door that got ripped off the hinges.
That fucking trifling bitch. You know? Every goddamn time, Nikki Haley. But, I don't know, man. So, I don't like her. I watched the debate in Iowa, okay? I don't like Nikki Haley. I don't like Ron DeSantis. I wasn't fans of them to begin with. I had more beef with Nikki Haley, right? Because I just don't like quitters.
Yeah.
But but after watching it, I lost all respect for both of them. I was like, oh no, you're just pieces of shit. They're literally getting caught in lies. They're calling each other out on lies.
That's what they do. That's what they're. That's
Dude,
what
I was like, fuck. And then Ron DeSantis wears heels anyways, and that's just, to me, nah, that's not cool. You know?
it's a power move.
Have you heard that conspiracy theory?
I thought it was true. I didn't know it was a conspiracy theory.
I've heard that. I've heard
I thought it was
some
legitimately
compelling
fact.
evidence that it's true. But apparently why he wears those cowboy boots and they look all weird is he has heel inserts to like raise him up a few inches. And I saw something where they were comparing like photos where he's been standing to like next to these other politicians in the past, right? And like you can tell his eyes are at a completely different level, like a lower
from
level.
where he's doing now.
And then now he's like head level with him, like, you know. So
that's some Kim Jong-un type shit.
Yeah.
He would do that stuff.
100% fucking weirdos. But I don't know. I'm still kind of holding out for Vivek Ramaswamy to some degree. I'm kind of hoping he becomes a vice president though, because
That's what I want.
Yeah, I think that'd be good, man.
I want Trump and Vivek tag teaming the world.
God, dude, that would be so wild.
That'd be hilarious.
Yeah, dude. Trump just saying crazy shit, Vivek just like learning and like adapting and strategizing, you know? Like,
all while still doing fucking Eminem cover songs and shit.
Yeah,
man.
dude.
Like,
but did you see the clip where he told the journalist or the anchor, I guess, from CNN to fuck off?
yeah, the guy that was crying about it.
Yeah, yeah.
Shit was ridiculous.
Fuck it, let's go ahead and just play the clip.
Yeah.
Say that on that last debate stage to a bunch of Republicans that are shaking in their boots. These are the things you're not supposed to say in the Republican Party even today. And then you get the mainstream media. You got this character Van Jones on CNN afterwards saying, this is the rise of an American demagogue who's going to live 50 years longer than Trump. This is dangerous. I am shaking. That's what he says. Just shut the fuck up. At a certain point, just
Everybody
shut
goes
the
ape shit when
fuck
he
up.
says that.
Van Jones at CNN.
So yeah, I guess like Van Jones at CNN was talking some shit or whatever, and
He was. I saw the clip
Yeah.
or whatever of it. It was ridiculous. Basically, just liberal left-wing bullshit. Whenever they hear something they don't like, they're like, "Oh, I'm so scared."
this is gonna be the next dictator. Oh my
Yeah.
God, he's gonna overthrow the government. What? You know?
Yeah.
That's also why I think it would be really funny, like if Trump got on the ticket and then VR was like his VP. I could definitely see that because I don't think Trump. There's no way he would ever choose Nikki Haley because she quit.
Well, no,
she quit on him before.
Well,
and talked
she's been
shit.
shitting on him the whole time too.
And then DeSantis has been talking shit too.
yeah. He does
So-
like I think you saw it too, but Trump stated he was like, I like Vivek.
Yeah.
He was like, I like him.
Yeah.
So
Which is like,
and Vivek likes Trump too. So they're-
well, Vivek was like standing up for him and shit. He was
Yeah.
like, he was talking about like when they were taking him off the ballots in like Colorado and Maine. He was like, this is unconstitutional.
oh yeah,
like,
he
this
was
shouldn't
like,
be
I
done.
will remove myself and
Yeah.
I would ask my or whatever, Nikki Haley and all them
Like,
other motherfuckers
running-
like
or-
running mates,
Not running mates, but like
whatever the hell they're called.
yeah, people he's running against.
Yeah.
You know, like fuck, I can't even think about it. But yeah, you know, basically just to like bow out too, man. Like be like, hey, like none of us agree to even have like an election. Like if you're gonna do this shit, you know. But whatever. I don't know. I mean, they reversed the shit in Colorado or whatnot, and have they reversed it in Maine at all? Do you
I don't know. I haven't even looked into it again. Like
It's just depressing.
I think it's just bullshit. I feel like if it got denied in Colorado,
Yeah.
it's gonna get denied in Maine. They're gonna put him back on there.
Well, fuck it. Whatever. I mean, to go back to World War III, I guess fucking whoever becomes president gets to inherit a potential massive shit show, dude. Holy fuck, man. All this shit that's been happening in the news in the last like couple of weeks.
Oh yeah.
So many new conflicts are like popping up, dude. Like, god damn, I don't even know where to start, man.
I feel like we need just a bingo card of just random countries and just mark them off. Like,
I thought about getting like a map of like the world to put behind us, and then we just have like colored
just
yarn.
string. Yeah, dude.
Of like who's attacked who and like where it's going and all this
Yeah.
other shit, because it's almost impossible to keep up with all this shit, man. You know, I mean, all right. Well, fuck. All right, I don't even know because there's multiple countries. I don't know which one to start with. All right, you want to start with Yemen or you want to start with Taiwan?
Let's do Taiwan. It's
You
a
wanna do
little
Taiwan?
It's a little
Okay.
more simple.
Okay, cool. So Taiwan, for those of you who didn't know, this past weekend had a presidential election, and they're smart. They do it on Saturdays. I don't know why we can't, do shit like that or whatever.
People are off work.
Yeah, or just make it a federal holiday where everyone's guaranteed that right. Like, no shit, everything closes. But whatever. We keep certain people out from voting. But my conspiracy theory, I guess. Whatever.
White, hardworking Americans.
Yeah, they just truly don't want the
people with the 9 to 5.
Yeah,
the polls close at 5.
Because you don't matter. Like, what do you have to offer?
Nothing.
Like, you pay a little bit in taxes, but I mean, it's like the big shakers and movers. And
stuff. But they know who they're going to vote for.
Yeah.
So they don't want them to
vote. Yeah. But anyway, so Taiwan, so they had the presidential election. And I think you might actually know more about this than me, because there was 3 candidates that could potentially be voted on, right?
Yeah, so basically the one guy that China didn't want to win, he won.
Which is good.
Which is good, yeah.
And he was pro, Taiwan's independence.
He's not so much pro Taiwan's independence. He's more on the level of just keeping things as they are now. Like China,
China both are separate countries.
Yeah, China doesn't control us, but yet we're not enemies. We're not. He doesn't want any conflict behind this.
So us in Canada.
I mean, I guess.
Why can't we just get along? Where it's just hey, we're neighbors.
They got Trudeau's stupid ass.
You know what I mean? For the most part, we all get along with Canada. We're not active war with them or whatever.
Yeah, but okay. Well,
all right, fuck it. Bad example.
Canada's not active.
I wasn't picking Mexico, amigo. But whatever.
Crush them.
Fuck it, start a whole other debate and shit, But yeah, so he wants to keep things neutral, I guess.
Yeah, basically,
right?
he just wants to keep things as they were.
But China's
not happy about it.
But he wants Taiwan to continue to be a sovereign nation.
Yeah, exactly.
Separate from China.
Because whenever the Democratic Progressive Party is who has controlled Taiwan for the past 2 terms, so this makes the 3rd consecutive term, which has never happened in Taiwan's history, which is kind of interesting.
So the people's I guess the majority, their ideology is kind of changing, where it's more of let's focus more on us being a sovereign nation completely away from China.
They like the way things are now. They don't want to change.
And China's just being a bitch about it.
Basically, China was literally, they were threatening them before the election. They were you have a choice to make. You know the right one. You know what you need to do.
I read that quote. They the CCP came out and said the people of Taiwan have a choice between what was it? It was
it was good.
It was a choice between peace and war.
Yeah.
And that's literally, they were go, and they released that statement the day before the election.
Yeah.
It's fuck, dude. So when you told me this dude won, I was well, I guess they chose violence. Fuck,
dude. The Taiwanese people were nah, fuck you guys. We're sticking.
Which I respect, man. Considering how small their island is and shit, dude. I don't know why we have such a high allegiance to. I mean,
have you seen? Do you know how many things say "Made in Taiwan" when you flip on the back?
Yeah, but I mean,
dude.
Come on, brother. I'm sure we could find somewhere else. But I mean, I just don't get it, because it's such a small nation. I don't know, man. I mean, I haven't done a lot of research into the economics and all that stuff behind it.
They obviously have something good, or China wouldn't want them so bad, and we wouldn't back them up so good.
What if it's just eventually we just want to have a base there and be right off China's coast?
It's possible.
Could be. I mean, it's how we've done it in the past. If we didn't conquer people,
but we got to have a war over there first so we can move in.
Yeah. Yeah. Did I ever tell you about my political science teacher who explained the national debt to me?
No.
Because that's making it in the news right now. I mean, we got to stay on World War III, but this does kind of
ties in.
Yeah, because we just hit 34 trillion or some shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's insane. And so it's tying in, to World War III or whatever. And I was taking this poli-sci class. It was a senior level class, a 4,000 level class, whatever. A lot of writing, a lot of research, reading about crazy ass shit that happened 100 years ago, right? And so not a sane person would not take this class, right? And so the professor is talking about the national debt. And at this point, we hadn't even hit 30 trillion, right? And he was talking about other countries that have bonds that they own on us. China, for example, owns trillions of dollars in U.S. bonds, so they own some of our debt. They don't control all of it. There's a common misconception they actually control all of it. It's not true.
Yeah.
But they do have a good chunk of it, right? And he was kind of going over some economic stuff, and then I remember just raising my hand and being seeing how he laid it out, that it was inevitable. There's no way you could pay it back.
No, never.
It's impossible.
And that was back then, even.
The interest is climbing faster than what you can pay down the principal. You're fucked. And I was like, so what? like, what's the end goal here? Like, what's the end result? And he was like, well, got two options.
Learn Chinese.
Learn Chinese. and God damn it. And get an Airbnb from fucking Japan. I don't know. Like, you know. But he was like, one, either we abolish the United States dollar and create a whole new currency, which isn't a good idea.
No.
Because it would make it all completely worthless. Like, there would be a moment of, like, transitioning where, like, we would tell citizens, hey, go to the bank. You're going to get a one-to-one, like, exchange or whatever the fuck it may be. But the problem is it discredits us with the rest of the world.
Yeah.
So, like, our whole entire credit-based system just goes out the window, and then our value of everything just plummets
It would be
into
like,
the ground.
what was that South American country that swapped over to Bitcoin? Was it Venezuela? It wasn't Venezuela. It
Well,
was,
Venezuela is, like, all fucked up. There's Argentina.
I don't
Venezuela-
a few years back, one of them swapped over to Bitcoin, and like just their economy just went
It
to
just
shit.
crashed. Like, it just went to shit. And so the teacher was like, he said the second option, which is the most realistic one, which is what will probably happen, he said, is you go to war. And I was like, what? And everyone got quiet. Because this was a very talkative class. We would have debates because there was a lot of hardcore liberals, hardcore conservatives, a lot of fucking people in the middle and shit. You know what I mean? Like pro-lifers, pro-abortion, like whatever, you know? And so it was a very mixed, you know, bag of nuts in that, sorry, in that room, in that class. And he was like, you go to war. And I was like, what are you talking about? And so at this point, like, basically, I'm like, fuck everyone else in class. Me and this dude are talking, right? And he was like, yeah. He was like, if we go to war with China, if we lose, it's not our problem anymore. But if we win, the debt they hold over us gets abolished.
It's dissolved.
Yeah. And so I was like, fuck, dude. And you could hear a fucking pin drop in that class. And he said, so now, he's like, I want y'all to go and look and see which countries hold, like what countries are the top countries that hold the most U.S. debt. He's like, because in the next, 50 years, we'll be at war with at least one of them. And I was like, God damn it, brother. But anyway, going back to World War III, he's like talking about, so Taiwan elected a new president that China did not want. And that's just going to make things interesting because China also recently gave a statement a few months back. They actually told this to Biden. It was Xi Jinping actually told this to Biden over when he came and visited.
There's a little vacation at San Francisco.
Yeah, when they fucking somehow miraculously cleaned up the entire city.
Yep.
What do we say? I guess when your boss comes in, you gotta clean everything up. But where was I going with that? Damn, I lost my train of thought, dude. Got distracted by that little side thing, but So Xi Jinping told Biden apparently the reunification of Taiwan and China is a historical inevitability. Basically, it's just I'm gonna come take that shit eventually, and you're gonna be okay with that.
So they were banking on this election going their way.
Yeah.
So now that it didn't go their way, they're either going to sit on their hands for a little bit longer or just get pissed off right now and start doing shit.
Yeah, tensions are going to get high as hell, dude.
Be like, just add that to the list. Come on.
But I don't know, man. So we'll see. You want to move on to another country or you want to keep talking about Taiwan and China?
I'm done with Taiwan.
All right.
Get them out of here. We got something else.
All right. Do you want to jump straight into Yemen, the shit in South Africa, or do you want to talk about Sweden?
Let's touch Sweden, and then the rest of it ties.
Yeah, Sweden doesn't have a lot. There's really not anything crazy going on. So Finland recently just became a member of NATO, right? Not too long ago. Now, the problem is there's territories that border between Finland that border up against Russia, right?
Yeah.
Boom. Now it's another NATO fucking ally right on Putin's ass.
Right on Russia, yeah.
So Sweden currently is not a member of NATO, but they were following suit with Finland, right? Because once the shit in Ukraine started off, all these Scandinavian countries started getting a little... Basically any country that bordered Russia started getting a little fucking worried, you know? And... So Sweden has started, this is a while back, but they started the process of becoming a member of NATO. Now they're only about 1 or 2 steps away from achieving that at this moment. But Putin is fucking pissed, dude. And he's made statements about it and shit. And I believe that he said, talking specifically about Finland's the one that really pissed him off.
Oh yeah, because Finland is right there.
Yeah. And he said that, I think he said if relationships deteriorate, you will be the first to be punished.
Makes sense.
And I was like, fuck, dude. So anyway, in Sweden, because now they want to be members of NATO because, they don't want to be left out on their own or whatever, fending for themselves, because it's looking like superpowers are about to go at it.
Yeah, so it's kind of time to start drawing lines in the sand and pick your sides.
Who's fucking I mean, it's literally like the allies and the axis of evil, like during World War II, man. You know, but freaking so Sweden's Minister of Defense, right, which is like basically second from, what is it? Is it their is it their prime minister?
Yeah.
You got a king? I don't know. Whatever.
I don't know.
Anyway, extremely high level in government. Basically, the dude who is in charge of their military, right, gave a fucking press release, right, and he told every single Swedish citizen to prepare for war with Russia. That they're basically saying that, like, it is a very high probability that at some point them fucking Ruskies are going to come knocking.
Yeah, they're saying, like, we're going to join NATO, and then we're going to have to fight, so get prepared.
Yeah. And so now, like, people are freaking out like they did in America during COVID, because that shit didn't really happen so much, like, in Western Europe, but, like, in America during COVID, everyone remembers grocery stores were insane. Everyone was buying shit off the shelf. You couldn't buy toilet paper to save your life.
Yeah, which still makes no sense.
Fucking, yeah, whatever fucking sense that makes, you know what I mean? Like, but I got soup and ramen noodles. That's what I was worried about, like canned food. You know what I mean? Shit's gonna last forever, you know? But
non-perishable.
you know, but yeah, so that's happening in Sweden right now. So they're kind of freaking out. They're kind of worried, and the fact that someone that high level in their government made that statement publicly tells me that they are actually probably pretty fucking worried about that, man.
Yeah.
So
to alert their people like that is I don't know.
I bet they
I guess it's better than just blindside them and be like, oh,
hey guys,
shit,
everything's gonna be cool.
Russia's on the way.
We're gonna join this group. Oh fuck!
Yeah,
you know, it's like, you know, you have 30 minutes to hide. You know, so I don't know. So we've already covered China, Taiwan, the stuff. We just covered Sweden.
Busted into Yemen.
We got South Africa and we got Yemen left, man. So these are just new conflicts. So this shit in like Israel and Gaza is still happening. Shit in the fucking Ukraine still happening.
It's
Niger is on the fucking tipping point of like becoming a failed state. You know what I mean? Like
it's been about 100 days since the initial attack on Gaza.
Yeah.
So
damn, it's already been that long?
Yeah.
Fuck. This is gonna stretch out for a minute, dude. That's the thing.
Dude, all this shit in the Middle East lasts fucking years, man.
Well, that's like we were talking about like World War II, man. Like people think that it just like kicked off overnight. Like no. It took years, and it was like a shit ton of multiple conflicts happening simultaneously, man.
Yeah.
And it's just like dominoes being stacked, dude. And then it just takes one right catalyst at the right moment, and it brings in a superpower. And once that happens, you're fucked. You're fucked. Like it's over, man. I mean, somebody's gonna win, but you know what I mean. Like, either everyone's gonna be speaking American. I just slipped right out. Everyone's gonna be speaking English, or we're all gonna be speaking fucking Russian in a fucking decade. You know what I mean?
We ain't gonna be speaking shit. We're just gonna get killed.
Yeah, just fucking Jesus Christ, dude. You know, so I don't know, man, but it's a fucking nightmare, dude. Like, and I see it, and I'm like, fuck. And like, what has me concerned is like. Is we grew up like after like 9/11, like all that stuff, man. Like we were in the military, like we've been to a lot of these Middle Eastern countries and stuff, and been to active combat zones. And dude, like, never did I ever hear people like being like World War III is right around the corner. Like, how much have you heard that coming up in the media, man? Everyone's
daily.
Just like, yeah, daily. There's like World War III, World War III, World War III, and it's just like, fuck, dude. Like, do you want this? Like, is this what you want, or is it just like, is that how like fucking sketchy things are right now, dude?
I mean, things are sketchy. We can't sit on our hands. We have to do something.
Yeah.
Although I don't agree with most of the conflicts we're in, I feel like we should just stay out of them until we're personally attacked. But okay,
that's how it should be.
I do have to justify the airstrikes in Yemen.
Okay, so you want to go ahead and just jump on Yemen?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, right. And we'll save South Africa for last, I guess, right?
Yeah, because
it kind of ties.
That's the most recent thing to back that up, anyway.
Yeah.
So
Yemen, what a great place to vacation this time of year.
It used to be a good place to go. Actually,
really?
Yeah, it was actually a decent vacation spot because they were a very well off country, and it was like a good place of a good vacation. But
no shit.
Not anymore.
Have you been there?
No.
Yeah. Anyway, I was thinking about telling a story about a friend of mine. His wife went on a missionary trip there, and her experience was not what you described at all.
Really?
Do you want to hear it? Like, I mean, it's quick.
All
she
right.
went on a missionary trip, and then basically she was like, you know, preaching to people and stuff like that. And so she did like some humanitarian work for the prisons because they have really rough prisons over there. Because I believe, if I remember right, they still practice Sharia law and stuff. So they treat their women like shit. So there was a woman that
why would she go over there?
Well, I don't know. Whatever. You know what?
Mission trips,
Yeah. And so there was a woman over there that she talked to and like helped out in the prison to give like new clothing, you know, women's sanitary stuff, everything you need, right? And the woman was serving a life sentence because she got raped.
Jeez.
Yeah. But it's a great place to vacation, guys.
Yeah, if you're a dude.
God, fuck that shithole. Anyway, so all right, let's shit on Yemen, man. All right, let's get into it.
It's justified.
What, the women going to prison, Sharia law
dude,
shit, or the
shitting on Yemen?
Oh yeah, that part. I was like, wait, what are you talking
So
about?
the Houthi rebels, they've been attacking like ships out in the Red Sea. They've been holding up trade routes, which them doing that, like that is the Red Sea. That's 15% of the world's trade routes by water.
I saw a guy break that down, just how much commerce travels through there, and I was like, oh
Insane.
my god, dude.
Yeah.
And it breaks down to such a narrow little passage.
I know it's easy for them to be screwing around with people out there.
And so like the Houthi rebels, man, from what I read, you know, back me up, like if I'm wrong, call me out. But from what I read, like basically they're just like a rogue militant group that is backed by Iran, just like Hezbollah. Hezbollah. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna fuck up their name. But but so Houthi rebels, man. It's just another proxy war, and they've attacked just 3 ships.
They're terrorists.
Oh,
it's a terrorist organization.
And they've attacked 3 ships over a 4-month period, correct?
They've done a lot more than that, but they've
These are the most recent.
Yeah, they've
issues.
attacked ships,
and some of these were U.S. like ships.
They're
like,
doing
company ships. Yeah.
They're doing Somali pirate shit on a higher level, basically. Yeah. Like whenever that shit was going on.
Yeah. And so
we had like what? He said like 73 airstrikes from the U.S. and the U.K.
I think it was like 73 or 76. So the United States like very quickly formed a coalition between the United Kingdom and us, obviously. And sorry, I gotta take a sip of water real fast.
But it wasn't quickly enough.
But they did it quick. They actually invited France in it. France said no.
Yeah, what a fucking surprise.
Surprise, surprise.
Thanks for nothing, France.
And so, sorry. And so anyway, so they had a coalition and they just like bombed the shit out of them, man, because they hit a fucking U.S. vessel. And basically we were like, nah, fuck you. You're not going to keep doing this shit. So it was everyone was blowing it out, like talking about these attacks like we were just gonna like fucking just slaughter a bunch of people, which just brings up what you want to talk about. Now we did do 70+ airstrikes, right?
Yeah,
but I believe, based on the information that we have, that it was more of a show of force than anything.
Like, they already know what we have. Why do we have to prove anything to them? Like, a show of force? Did they fucking forget we have what we have? I mean, we do tests, like, we do that shit every damn day. Like, every year we were in Afghanistan for 20 fucking years.
I don't know.
But yet, so 73 airstrikes, we only managed to kill 5 of these people that they say. They say five Houthis died and 6 of them were injured. So out of all that time, resources, money, weaponry, all that shit wasted on fucking 5 bodies.
Tens of millions of dollars wasted, dude. Because, oh my God.
That's ridiculous, man. We should be aiming, like, and if we have all this technology, which we do, we know where they are. Why are we just purposely missing them? Like, what the fuck are we shooting at out there?
I don't know, man. It's, and that, like, I don't fucking know, man. But, like, what I did see, dude, after that was, like, the citizens of Yemen, like, getting together and, like,
yeah, let's
the entire country protested.
Let's
the United
pop
States.
That on real quick.
It was like typical Death to America shit.
Yeah, let's see what they're up to.
Just pop that on.
Yeah. That's Death to America, by the way.
And I read that it was millions of people.
I mean, look at that crowd, man. That's like, that is a lot of people.
They got like Palestinian flags, like fucking waved and shit, dude.
And I don't know whatever flag that had an AK on it. I don't know what else was on there, but
I don't know, man.
So you're telling me that why couldn't we airstrike this? I mean, take out like 200,000 people at a time. Like I mean, that's a show of force if you ask me. Like take out a 16th of their population or some shit.
We still got international laws, right?
No one else follows them.
Till we deem them unfit. But yeah, man, it's just fucking wild, man.
That's crazy.
No. That's a lot of fucking people, man. That's a lot.
That's a lot of people that hate us.
Yeah, and that's a lot of like people that can be radicalized like from that. Like that's creating like, God, almost like a terrorist state, man. Like
I mean those. I don't know exactly what all they're saying, but they look pretty radicalized to me.
Yeah. I mean, we've been bombing Yemen for years. I mean, we were bombing them back underneath the fucking Obama administration, dude.
But like, it just feels like anytime we actually do anything, like we just half-ass it. Like
now,
imagine if we were to bomb that, for instance.
Now, between 2002 and 2008, like we're pretty fucking productive, like or proactive on that shit, you know.
But that's because we had the American people. They had our back. Like they were like, do something about this. Whereas now, anytime anybody's hurt, if it's not us, then they're like, oh, those people didn't deserve to die. This is genocide. This is bullshit. Well, sometimes you got to do shit to defend yourself and protect your own fucking family and your own country.
Yeah, dude. You know, you want to make an omelet, you got to crack a few eggs, right?
Yeah.
But you know, it's just. It comes down to like the fact is like you have to be able to defend your sovereign nation, so your homeland and your interest. So like if you got a shit, man, that's your property, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if somebody starts fucking with that, you got to take those motherfuckers out, dude. Now, the fact that we have like 70 plus fucking airstrikes and only killed 5 fucking people and injured 6 makes me wonder like there's no way I know for a fact we're not that incompetent.
Exactly.
So it makes me fucking wonder, man. Like I don't know. It kind of makes me
why are we
scratch.
wasting our resources?
I don't know. I mean, the shit's already bought and paid for.
Yeah, so. But we gotta use it on that. I'm just saying, there's plenty of people there. They were asking for it.
Oh my god, dude.
I mean, if the shoe was on the other foot, if we were having our New Year's thing and they had bombs, you know goddamn well they'd be bombing our shit if they had the ability to.
Damn, dude. So how many? Damn, this is just so many like countries getting involved and like doing shit right now. God damn it, dude. Fuck. Do you want to keep shitting on fucking Yemen, or you want to move on to South Africa?
Let's do Africa.
Yeah. Okay.
So South Africa, they're pissed about this situation.
Well, it was the Israel-Gaza shit, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, did they comment on the Yemen shit, or was it just the Israel-Gaza?
It came out after the Yemen shit, but I think the Yemen kind of like they used that in their argument.
Like, now I want to have an opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Because they're mad. They're basically calling genocide on the Palestinian people, and they're mad at Israel.
Is it vice versa, or is it on the?
No,
I thought they were calling genocide on Israel, like saying Israel was committing like war crimes, and then they were like, okay, yeah. So, did I hear that backwards?
I don't think so, but
whatever. But yeah, so essentially, like South Africa has just basically stood up and been like calling for Israel to be like brought up in front of the United Nations on like war crimes, essentially, right? So, which means like now they're not doing any military shit, but it's just one more fucking thing, one more dividing line in the sand, and that's how it works, man. That's how coalitions form. Like that's how it's new allegiances, man. Like I don't know, dude. Like I remember like when I was in the military, dude. Like I went to like a briefing, and they were like, I won't say where, when, or what it was about exactly, right? But there was a map of NATO, and they were like, here's NATO. And so they were all like blue, right? And then it flashed. It was like, so here's the ones we know we can trust. And then it was like another map. Small amount of those. Yeah, dude. And I was like, holy shit. And then I sat in the room and, they talked about some other stuff. But anyway, we won't go into all that. But yeah, man. So I don't know, man. Like if World War III is really on the horizon, it's going to be... it's just going to be interesting to see the world get shaped like that, dude. Like reshaped in that just catastrophic, radical way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
it's
then
like you would think that humans as a whole would have learned, but we don't ever learn.
Yeah.
We just repeat the same mistakes over and over. Like they always say, history repeats itself.
Yeah.
Same shit.
And I was watching some political shit the other damn, I can't remember who said it. Damn, I'm getting tired. I can't remember who said it. If it was Hillary Clinton, Nikki Haley, I don't know. It could have been anybody. Honestly, I've been watching a lot of shit. So they said, when a dictator says they're going to do something, you better believe them. Because the thing is like in democracies like America, right? These politicians, they'll just pander to whatever, like the popular opinion, just because they need votes and they want to stay in and they want to have that power, right? Dictators don't have to worry about that.
Because they get to do what they want.
Yes. So if they're
and they don't have like a board or someone to like
they have no one to answer
mitigate
to.
what they're trying to do or anything else.
So it's just like, I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
And so Putin apparently made the comment, they were quoting Putin, and he talks about how he was going to take Crimea, then he was going to take all of Ukraine, and once he was done with fucking Ukraine, he was moving to the Balkans and then to Poland.
Yep. Yeah, I saw that.
And they were like, hey, like I think it might have been actually Nikki Haley during that debate, actually, now that I think about it.
I think you're right, because I saw that shit too.
And she was just like, hey, like you need to like believe what he's saying. You know what I mean? Like he has no reason to lie.
And like, again, if you back him into a corner, he has nothing to lose, and he doesn't care about anything. He will do whatever it takes to make sure he is a winner.
Dude.
Like,
and then you start talking about like Poland being a NATO country, then like, what is it, Article 5? Like we're literally like by international law like obligated to like fucking support them, right?
Yeah,
or by NATO law, I guess. But so I don't know, man. It just seems it's a dicey. Things are moving, things are going, man. And unfortunately, right now, I don't feel like America is as strong as it once was, man. Could be. There's potential.
Could be if we were fucking blind and in denial, but we're not, so yeah.
And it's just interesting, too, that all this is happening during an election year.
Yeah, kind of makes you wonder.
I know we've always said that, like, voting is important. I think you made the joke about it, but, like, this time it really fucking matters, like, who you vote for, dude. So, but I don't know, you know, like, we'll see, man. I don't know.
So stay positive, people, because together we can do this.